So how was your day?
Soccer with the kid was great. Got to hang out with the daughter and the son, and then the grandparents, Candace's parents came out too as well. So that was nice.
Very cool.
And then, work and stuff like that. Now I'm at home smoking the weeds.
It seems like a good way to finish off today. Finish off the night. Like, yeah, it's fucking still like fairly early here. You know what's exciting here about like the whole? I'll start off talking about food. It's not the first time we've like. It's not even showtime yet technically. We're talking about food, but you know what? I got a full belly of spaghetti right now, and by the time we're done talking, you know what? It'll probably have sank down just enough that I can probably go eat some more. So that's good. I'm feeling happy, feeling nourished and fed and all that stuff, and I'm ready to get high with my friends. Absolutely, I am. This is. Oh, you know what? I just about went and picked up some fresh dabs today.
That's a little too clear for my liking. But there's a yellow tinge there. Oh, that's not spilling. Black Lime Reserve live resin.
Oh, shit, eh?
Yes.
I like the sounds of that. Cheers, Skunk Ape. Cheers, Jay. Cheers, Jason. Oh, some Chimera. I've heard about the Chimera a few times there, Jason. That's spelt differently, but the band Chimera is also used to be one of my favorites back. Like, I think it was like late teens, early 20s was probably around when they were rocking. I love them. Cheers, Doctor. Cheers, Cake in a Cup. Great to see you. Hopefully not missing
in there early.
Yeah, we're gonna get a few people out are just like, what the fuck? I wasn't ready for this. Still thought they had like another 5 minutes or so to kind of go and like poop or whatever it is that they're doing.
What up, Dave Patrick?
Yeah, this should be good. So I got some good news that's fucking like super rad as shit. Someone asked like on their chats one of like on a recent show just a couple weeks back about what the deal was with the whole van thing and am I still doing it? And at the time I was like, nah, just a few things haven't panned out quite the way I planned. And then just like a few hours ago, like I basically walked in the door. I think I was in my underwear when I took the phone call. Just getting ready to hit the shower. And my mother-in-law wants to swap the her van straight across for my quad. I was like, yeah. You can do something like that. So it's a pretty good deal for both of us because my quad needs a little bit of work, not much. The cost of the parts is going to be worth more than the effort to put them in. Really, just like CV joints on both ends of one axle on the front side, A-arm protectors, and then there's some kind of electric kill switch underneath the front skid plate that'll kill the winch when you pull up the plow blade. Otherwise, you'll just we've sheared off winch cables fucking a few times now, right? So I'm like, that could be a good deal because now that I used to drive a Dodge pickup around and be able to go quadding and do all that kind of shit whenever I want. Now my lifestyle has shifted greatly. I drive this little Chevy Equinox soccer mom car. The thing is fucking great. It's easy on gas. It gets me to do a lot of traveling, which is kind of affordable. So I'm not really into the quadding thing. Like I've gotten out, I still love it. And the other thing is I don't really have any friends in the area with quads. So going out by yourself fucking sucks. So there's that element of it too. But apparently my father-in-law has been talking about a quad and that thing's been parked there for about 2 years just about. And I just, you know how it is when you got great intentions of getting around to a project and it's just never quite do. And to make it worse, the thing's parked out of sight, out of mind shit for me is terrible. But when it's parked out at my in-laws where I'm only out there like once a month or maybe, depending on what time of year it is, not that often. But she's got a van that's sitting there that they've got no use for right now and that I could very well make use out of. So this is exciting.
Oh, yeah. A little travel. Travel's good for the heart and soul.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I love it. Cheers, Shanny. How you doing? Cheers, Dags.
Good evening, Shanny. Oh, excuse me, my throat. That dab was a little bigger than I thought. Oh, boy.
Fun
So,
hash.
you want to see something cool?
Yes.
Get back in camera. Go on.
Oh yeah.
Little Rudy Toot Toots. That is on the Trinity cut.
Bloody roots.
Yeah, we got one. We got those on the Trinity cut, and then I got one little lonely little Beamer coming off that guy.
Oh, but soon it'll be many.
That is the New York City diesel. So, I haven't looked at the other ones yet.
Cheers, Sir Hunlot.
Sure.
See you there. Where's my?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet having like I wasn't really looking for clones or anything, you know what I mean? But you know, they show up, right? Because kind of a blessing because I think my garden's going to shit right now. I shouldn't even have popped with anything, whatever, but I was nice enough to get some cuts from Major when I met him. And, yeah, put them into cycle. Some of them Leaf Septoria, I'm pretty sure I've narrowed it down. I'm gonna try. I flipped the 10 into 12-12. I'm gonna go into flower, and if they all act up and start being stupid, I'll just shut it down. But I flipped it just because if I flip it now, I'll be finishing the same time as outdoor, basically. So I won't have to worry about crossing gardens, and they can just go into the harvest.
Yeah.
So,
well, fuck. It sucks that you got to deal with shit like that, man. Like I've kind of been dealing with different, but
never had Septoria before. It's kind of caught me off guard, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I reuse my soil quite a lot, so it's like I think maybe too many runs, and it's just depleted, and it's unbalanced, and it's out of whack, and there's mushrooms growing out of it, which is weird. Yeah, it's maybe just too far gone.
Yeah,
I got a barrel of Promix sitting right here with a bag of seed compost and some biochar and some worm castings and some bokashi and some other stuff. So I can build a pretty wicked. I don't even know what's in this tote. That's probably the problem. Maybe some soil in there that's old and fucked over. Start from fresh, so I know what's up. I think I lost. Well, I know I lost track of what was going on there. So
I'm there myself. Like everything I've got is in solo cups. I've got one thing that's in a 3-gallon fabric pot that's ready to try and go a little bit of a abolish style butt chug system. See how that does for us, and hopefully it'll do well because it's hard to fuck around. I get to go to my parents' place for the weekend and see how the outdoor plants are doing, so that's exciting.
Yeah, update that shit. I'm glad to hear that. Mine are doing great. They're doing so good. The branches are falling off the fucking plants already, and there's not even buds on them. They're thick, like so. Got to figure that out. That's the problem when you grow too big of outdoor plants, or not too big per se, trained incorrectly, or plants with just gigantic octopus-like structure. Where a cannabis branch comes off, I don't know what the wording would be, but it's almost like it is separated. You know what I mean? It's kind of got like two knuckles up against each other sort of deal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like there's already that beginning of it. And I came home today and just, went to look in the garden, and I had a branch laying on the ground, and it's right separated from the main stalk. But I'll be able to solve that no problem with just some twist wrap or whatever it is. It's like the garden tie stuff. Tie the branch tied to the main branch. Get that injury close enough so that wherever it is still attached, that it might hang on, but it doesn't look like it might not make it.
Use like duct tape or other kinds of tape for shit like that too to figure help.
Yeah, once I get it tied up and pulled together.
Yeah.
I was looking for that stuff earlier, couldn't find it, but I haven't looked down here yet. I was looking in the backyard and shit. We'll get it all figured out.
Nice.
Worst case scenario, I lose a branch, but problem is this branch is 3 feet long, just fucking full. It's gonna be a couple ounces.
Very nice. That's what I like.
Yeah, so it's like I don't really want to fucking chop it off if I don't have to. God damn. But nature of the beast. Grow big outdoor plants, you're gonna lose branches here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck, I'm in top chat too. Get the fuck out of there.
Oh, damn. Did everybody get caught in the top chat? Thanks for that, Kingfisher, for letting everyone be aware. I'll even, like, you know what?
My nuts just dipped in the top chat water.
Oh, I'll bet you that's extra cold.
Oh, icy.
Where the fuck is that video? It's been serious. It's been so long since we played this one. I was thinking about this. I think it was all right, everybody, let's get our shit together. Hell yeah. Good call, Jay.
Nope. What am I picking? Yeah, you know what? I've got this stuff that Sniff picked up along the way, along his travels. So it's a native dispensary weed. I don't believe I was ever told, or I don't remember definitely the name of it. So South Nelson. Ooh, it smells good though. That is Ranky.
We like Ranky.
Frosty too. Got some purple on it. You know, looks like the good shit.
Cheers, Decoy. Rusty. Operation Annihilation.
Little popcorn, but they're deadly. Look at they're nice and frosty covered. They'll do the trick for sure.
Nice, very nice. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to hit the mail or even the fucking post office to get fucking shit yet. So
just, I hit the mailbox, open that the old lady. I got her order a birthday present a while back. Her birthday was like 2 weeks ago or more, even by now, maybe. And waiting for her birthday present to show up in the mail. Still hasn't. I think I outdid myself this time personally.
Fucking nailed it, did you?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
That's good. We are smoking.
Find it online here.
Unknown herbs, but good stuff nonetheless. Fucking one of them. Well, I only have one in my garden, but I was able to see 3 of them today. Banana Daddies times Black Widow, big 6-footers, whatever, and one of them is just vibrant and stinks. And the one that I have in my garden, luckily, is the same one. But I have a dog scratching at a door here pretty fiercely, and I'm gonna go let it in.
Oh no! Oh, first my computer starts freezing up, and I can't click back. All right, well, hopefully you guys can hear me. I was just trying to find what the amazing. Oh, there it is. But my computer's froze. Oh, no, it's not. There we go. I think it's just about time for a new laptop. Hopefully this thing will last till the end of the year. Get through Christmas or something like that. And maybe that'll be the next thing I'll try to do around here. Upgrade for a laptop. That's great. Okay. Nope. Oh, that's the wrong button. I even know what button to press on there too. That was just my stupidity. That doesn't count as tech errors. That's just more of, I think, Brad's on his third joint since he's gotten off work. Oh, dude, we had a good case of Sidiots today. It was pretty funny. So, as we were leaving freaking work there, not long before we get home, we get the truck ahead of us gets a call from our boss saying there's a hay truck on fire, and so the highway's closed just before town. But if we cut across through this farmer's field, through a couple of gates and stuff, and down this, basically, it's a little more than a quad trail, but we got 4x4s, so we're good. We can get through there, and it's instead of sitting in traffic for hours, we can be home in 45 minutes. Okay, instead of the usual about 10 to 15 that it would take us from where we were. Okay, yeah, not a problem. Let's go. We start getting through there, and you start seeing like SUVs and stuff coming towards us. Okay, a few people are aware of this trail and it's starting to come through. And we get through a few spots where like the ruts are pretty bad, but like once again, hey, we're fucking driving 3/4 ton pickups. We're fucking not worried about nothing. We're good to go. And we get up to the top of this hill. Truck ahead of us stops, and what the hell? You can see a bunch of people standing around, like, oh, is somebody like stuck or something? And you get up there, and this orange Pontiac Grand Prix is like sunk in this fucking puddle. And you got another car that's like, I don't think it might have been like an old Chevy, like late 80s, early 90s Chevy Cavalier. And then basically a Kia version of what I drive behind that. And they're trying to figure this out. So what this dipshit does is they see the traffic is stopped and they're looking to get around them. Hey, I get it. I fully fucking get what you're doing here. And I would agree with it if you actually were smart enough to have the right vehicle. But he comes, sees this puddle, and he decides he's going to gun it because that's going to be the quickest way to get through a puddle. I understand the logic, but it's actually not generally the right thing to do. And he swamped his engine and shorted his fucking battery and stuff like that. Now his shit won't start. And we come up. None of the three of them have the three vehicles there. They don't have jumper cables. We usually do. For some reason, we didn't. Okay, well, we can't help you. So we'd like, we're tree guys, right? We're pretty, usually equipped for shit like this. Breakdowns happen in the bush, nonetheless, too. You got to be prepared, right? Boy Scouts motto. These guys are what we call Sidiots. They're big city people that, come to the bush touristing or something like that and just out of your shoes, right? Or out of your element completely. I mean, and they're wearing like these expensive. I noticed the one guy's wearing Calvin Klein shoes. I didn't even know Calvin Klein made shoes, although I wasn't surprised to fucking see him in like these fancy designer pants and stuff like that. And just the way they're hopping, the one guy's hopping from the car with the open door to the side of the puddle and stuff, trying to get in and out. So I was like, well, we got a tow strap, and you're in our fucking way. We want to go home. So we get the tow strap out and hook it up to the car. And I was like, looking at Seth or Sloth Lettuce, as you guys would know him, having never actually met him. But he was about to like kind of get down in the puddle, crawling in the mud that took this tow strap up to their car. I was like, looked at him. I was like, no. You're doing these people a favor. They were the dummies that came in out here friggin' in over their heads, and let them get a little bit dirty. And he got a little bit dirty, and it was a little bit, not much, but they pulled their fucking car out of the way. And basically, at this point, we've got traffic starting to build up behind us because there's people behind us that know about this as well. And you see people coming down the trail and getting backed up. And as we're coming, and so get you guys to this, you're within cell service. Somebody coming either way, they'll have jumper cables. Hopefully, that's enough to get you guys going and out of here. Hopefully, you're smart enough to turn around when you do. And on our way out, there's like more cars. It's usually pickups or an SUV, like something like what I drive might be able to get through there if you were to pick your way through the ruts well enough and stay up on top of them. You'd be good. But there's a lot of places where your average car is going to get high centered, like, and you got no fucking chance. And so I'm sitting there looking at this and on their way out, and I'm like, how many people are going to just like get stuck in the middle of these trails? Because some people are going to get through that, no problem. That dummy might even get through that, no problem. But that's the easy stuff. What about the stuff that's down the hill? And like those ruts, once you get high centered, you're like, yeah, there'll be vehicles that'll come through and somebody will help you out. I hope it's generally the way of the road kind of thing, but it's like, I laugh. I laugh. It's naivety. You know what I'm saying? Naive. Like it's just it's silly, and I laugh, and like it's once again, it's if you shouldn't be there, don't be there, and stay on the tourist streets.
Well, buddy, living in cottage country and working up there, I see my fair share of that. So I get what you're saying.
Oh, it did here. Okay, so here's another one. So I went into this one yard where we had to do some work today, and usually almost every time we'll go like the utility company will go ahead and let people know we're going to be in the area in a few months, and work will be commencing and all this shit. And then we'll usually knock on a door if we're in someone's yard, because most people really appreciate that. If you show up in their yard with chainsaws, you at least show up, knock on the door, let them know what's going on. Most people are okay with it. Some people aren't. When they're not okay with it, I'm always like, we don't have to do this. We can always leave. Right? Because that's just one less thing I have to do that day. There's more work down the road. I'm not too worried about it, right? And but we go to this guy's house, and it was some rich dude from Vancouver, because this seems to be the way of things up in my area now. They were on Rail Lake, and he built a house just down across the corner, around the corner, whatever like that he was saying. And this place was for his kid and his daughters. Hey, if you're able to in that position, you can provide that. Fuck, absolutely. I got nothing against it. I just sucks to see it happening in my community, and people that live here sometimes getting pushed out of the local places. But anyways, and that's on the point. So this guy's talking about at his place. He's got they had to hook the Wi-Fi up. That's what they're doing. And he's like, because everything needs Wi-Fi these days. And I was like, kind of laughing, haha, kids. And then he's like, oh, well, my place over there, it's a smart house. You can't even turn the shower on without Wi-Fi. And I'm like, okay, here's another good, like the term, idiot. Do you know how often the power goes out there? Because trees fall down out there. It's not a very well-kept area. We go through once every 7 years, and, we do what we can. And we're seeing trees everywhere that should come out. Well, what about the trees that die in that 7 years? Right? All the time. Every winter, shit goes out there. So if you have a house that is completely relying on Wi-Fi, you need electricity 100% of the time. And unless you've got an emergency backup generator, you're going to be like, your life is instantly at risk. A minus 30 day. Power goes out, like, you don't even got backup wood heat. You're like, that shit scares me when I hear about stuff like that. Like, cool, do the smart house stuff by all means if you can, but have a backup means in case.
Yeah, I'd like to think for myself. It'd be probably hard, but like, make sure that you can return to the old ways if need be. But it'd be a pain in the ass just for power outages. You wouldn't want to fuck around all the time. Like, the aesthetics of your house might get, it's hard to have both systems.
Like, what if the power goes out and you can't? Does that mean you can't even get out of your house? Does that lock your door shut and you can't fuck with them anymore? Like, I don't know. I'd imagine there's got to be a manual on there to get the fuck out in an emergency situation, like a manual knob or whatever, right? But yeah, that's just like one of those things where technology both amazes and scares the shit out of me simultaneously, because it's just like, wow, you can do that. And man, I love that. Like, I have a huge CD record collection, and not even huge by a lot of other people's standards, because I got friends with more, but I'm like well up into the thousands now in my music collection. And, that takes up a lot of space. I don't have any of it here where I live because I don't have room for it to even have the stereo on and on. But you know what? I could put all of that on my phone. Wow, that is amazing. Cameras, we can take a picture of anything we want anytime we want. But, oh, shit. You mean somebody can take a picture of me anytime they want? There's that, it's just everything's got the yin and the yang. And I just, I've been able to turn your thermostat up and down from your phone while you're out of town or whatever. That's neat, but it's I don't know.
Well, Cake's saying here the smart locks all have manual openers for basic safety logic.
Yeah.
Like locks, it's easy with those, but then as it gets deeper and deeper, like a fridge, I seen something to do with the fridge. Well, this fridge had a big screen on it, and it was malfunction in some way or another. And it was like, man, you get a bad. Let's for easier. Fuck, I'm too stoned to talk. But like, say the fridge gets like a virus or whatever, you know what I mean? Now the screen don't work and this don't work, and now you're fucked. So it's like, yeah, I like it. I like the idea of advancement, but
I honestly, I don't even want a fridge with a water dispenser on it.
Don't put automation in front of your survival.
Thank you.
Do it surrounding where you can everything else like tools and stuff, whatever. But when it comes to water and heat and shelter and shit like that, don't let a robot do that.
Here's a weird one in my area. I just saw it. I actually happened to be on Facebook today, and I look and I see people that are in my area posting up about we have a water ban, immediate water ban in effect. You're not allowed to water your plants or anything like that anymore. And I guess city's been taking the hanging baskets that townships will put up from light posts and stuff like that. They've taken those down now, or started taking them down and all this. And I'm like, damn, this is the wettest year this area has had in at least 8 years. As a guy who works outside year round and is very aware of weather and weather cycles and stuff like that, we have not had a year this wet since 2016, and this year may very well be even wetter than that in my region, the Caribou region. No, it's not named after me. The show's named after it more than anything, but and it makes me go, huh? It's what's up? Like the ground is saturated. Well, not saturated maybe at this point, but it's wet. Like fire season in this area is pretty well done, which makes me happy. That being said, British Columbia, Alberta, places outside the Caribou region, I hear about them getting hot and shit. So maybe we're just kind of scared and being preventative measures or something. But I don't know, man. We're not short of water in this area.
No fires nearby.
So it makes me just, you get the conspiracy theorist mind a little bit. You're like, fuck you, government. What are you doing?
We get fire bans here too, but it's only when it's been like scorching hot with no rain for 3 or 4 weeks. And grass is all yellow. And...
yeah. So I asked the girlfriend if we can make sure we got a garbage can that I usually have an Airstone in that I fill up with water and like bubble a chlorine out of, so that I got decent water for watering plants with. I use that in the outdoor season outside, and so we'll fill that up. Because I've got some tomatoes that are freaking just starting to rock right now. All my the Baker's Creek stuff that we put out there, right? We got like the Black Beauties are starting to do really well. They're the best producing right now with the most and the biggest and all that. And yeah, they're black. They're so purple that they're damn near black. And then, but the parses where they haven't quite developed that yet, there is still green in there on some of them, which is interesting. But we got some of the Evil Olives, which we grew last year. We really like those. That's kind of our chosen. It's a cherry tomato. That's what they're called. Style.
My garden was doing good, but then I think when I picked one of my squashes, I might have damaged it, and the rest of it died. There's still another squash there attached below where it fell off and died, so I'm fine there. I had 2 cantaloupes growing, and I'm gonna say it's rue because Tundra never does anything bad. One of the cantaloupes was found in the yard today, so it was like a crime scene, right? There's a quarter of a cantaloupe left, but albeit it's only the size of a baseball right now. So I'm like, at first I'm like, goddamn dog, blah blah blah. You know what? Not really dog's fault. I'm giving her access to a garden. She's crazy. I know that. She knows that. I'm,
Hey, she knows that you know that.
yeah, it's ultimately my fault letting her roam free all over the place. She got into the barbecue and the smoker too, so that's another story. So I grabbed the thing and I'm like, oh man. So I go back to the plant to see what's up, right? Yeah, and it's up, not uprooted, but like mangled because it wasn't ready to fall off no vine yet, right? So she would have had to, like, I gotta put a camera in my backyard to catch this dog doing stuff because she would have to play tug of war for a second, get it off the vine or whatever. The second one's still there. Now I'm like, gotta protect it with my life now. I think I'm gonna cayenne it.
Here's 2 cents.
Cayenne peppers all over the place.
Go hotter. Go like ghost peppers or something like that. You like hear your dog like taking a shit out in the yard the next day, just like oh, it's shitting fireballs.
No. Just enough when she goes there and takes a big sniff with them nostrils. That's a nice little dustman of pepper. I'll keep her out of the garden.
Just kind of had the realization that we haven't ripped the dab frog yet, so we should probably wreck it.
Oh yeah, Jay Patrick was saying Lou was licking the chops. Oh yeah, if you knew what happened inside that smoker, he was deep in it this morning. I had to give her a face wash. I don't know what time it was, early, 6:30, 7 a.m.
I miss having a dog so fucking much, man. Like, really, seriously, truly, I miss having a dog. It's.
Are they around?
I've come to realize that it's affected how much outdoors stuff I do. Like, I don't go for walks every day anymore. Shit like that, or even just the weekend walks just to get out of the house. Just go down the street. We got bushes right there. Go for a stroll, kind of thing. The creek park in town, don't even do that anymore as much, and it's just kind of really sucks. I wish. Well, no, I don't. Definitely don't want the cat to die. The cat's pretty cool when she's not being a cat. But like that's the thing. You're only allowed one animal, right? I would prefer a dog over the cat, but it's whatever. The cat's cool. She deserves to stay.
Cats with personality are cool. They're just as cool as dogs. Like, yeah, you don't get to go play fetch for some of them do, and you don't get to go do things like with dogs. But cats are cats, and if you get a cool one, they're pretty neat, man. They're like little house dwelling fuckers. They fuck around, Some of them stay like super spunky their whole life, jumping around.
I would almost be willing to try the next cat we get, turn it into like an adventure cat. You see people that'll bring theirs everywhere. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty sweet.
They just have this really natural, like twitchy personality. All cats, pretty well, right? So
yeah. Well, it's kind of the thing. It's once again the yin and the yangs, right? Like being a pet owner, I love cats. I had my cat Soulfly. She was 16 when she passed. And like cats are very independent, and as long as you put food and water out for them, they'll in a box to shit in if you don't let them outside. They're good. They'll do their thing. They're very happy. They'll come love you if they want, and usually you got to go bug them, kind of thing, and it all works. So dogs, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure most of them could last more than about 5 minutes on their own without us, and but that's the great thing about them because they are so needy, but they're also like not even so much the needy. They just want to be with us at all times. Like your dog is your pal, your friend, it's you're doing shit with them. Whereas the cat, even if I were to get a cat and was able to successfully turn it into an adventure cat, that you're not going to have that close camaraderie. Like a bear come running down the road, odds are, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe cat might go at that bear, but a dog is more likely to fucking have your six than that fucking cat will. Let's put it that way. Run on that fucking thing.
100%. It was funny because I seen a dog today at work. at first, and I was like, I remember this dog. He was friendly, but I don't think I've ever met him on his property not introduced by owners. And he's a big shepherd. And I'm like, oh, hey, puppy. He just comes wandering up, sniffs my hand. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Cheers, Lori. Cheers, Frager. Cheers, Lobster.
Everyone rolling in.
Oh, and I saw it, Noof. I saw what you said about the Fraser River water source. I would have to say unlikely in our situation, but like what you said, you absolutely made sense. But like we don't have this is because this is what I'm about to say. There's been a weird point of contention with me. We have a co-op gas station card lock in our town. It's called the Two Rivers Co-op. We don't have a river of period within 100 kilometers of us. How the fuck are you going to call a co-op gas station a fucking Two Rivers co-op when there's not even one within 100 kilometers? So it's that one I think is unlikely. But I doubt, like, thinking of other people that would possibly be pulling from that. That does absolutely make sense though, because that can be crazy. I saw a good video today of the debris field that the logs and stuff that are starting to come when they hit the Fraser, and it just looked, man, that looked crazy. Like I'd be worried about like bridges and structural damage farther downstream as that stuff goes. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, the rivers out there too are pretty sweet. I love mountain rivers.
Yeah,
a little different than the style. Like we got rivers and stuff out here too, but they're just not the same. It is what a river's a river, but the ones out there are pretty sweet. Some of them coming down with all the like the sediment in them. They're like that pastel turquoise color.
Yep.
Pretty sweet.
Well, when the Fraser River, which I could be wrong, but I think might be the biggest in BC. It starts up in like the Mount Robson area, so right around where like where if you're following the highway where you go where BC runs into Jasper Park, right in there somewhere. And it's like a narrow stream. I wouldn't consider it much more than a creek up there, actually. But that is the headwaters of the Fraser River, somewhere out of there. And then by the time it gets to Prince George, it's this great, big, wide, vast, fucking muddy, flowing, just looking stream. Because you think of all the tributaries coming and flowing into that and whatnot. And then it flows again in Lytton, where the North Thompson and the Fraser meet. And the North Thompson is clear water. It's not nearly as gross. And yeah, it's and also the North or all the Thompson. Am I thinking the North Thompson? I know there's multiple Thompsons in the area, but they also kind of end and begin up at about the same area, except for it diverts, goes to Kamloops Lake and shit like that. Because if you take I was about to like score really hard into BC geography and confuse the shit out of everybody. It's a good thing. Y'all are lucky I was able to sustain on that one.
It's like me and Fluffs Weldon talked.
Yeah. Except for this is going to be me talking to myself for.
I was thinking of this question here while you're talking about that. The water that comes from the mountains, I'm sure it contains more than. Like I'm sure there's good stuff in there, like that stuff with the sediment I was talking about, like the limestone. I guess it would be. I wonder if
I think when oftentimes when the waters are like clear, especially, it's just because it's like fast moving glacial water, right? I know what you mean. I've seen it where it is more turquoise and stuff like that, because it's usually at least where the clear is usually more indicative of glacial waters. And like I'll drink that every time I get if we're up in the mountains and there's a creek or something like that. Fucking right. Like all city water sucks. You know, it's gross and chlorinated, bad for your gut biome. Whereas you're pulling, you know, where you ain't got a city anywhere near you, then you know the stuff's free flowing, it's cold, and you're just like, yeah. It even like tastes good. And you think of how like nutrient dense it probably is too, as opposed to specifically our RO water, which is what we drink in this household because our city water is so just blah.
Yeah, we got a well, maybe 20 kilometers from here. Super, super clean water. Been there for years. It's like not famous, but like locally is.
Hillbilly Herb says he's one. This one just caught my attention. Pitt Lake in BC, Slumax Gold. I know the legend that you speak of, and I've actually read my daughter one of those books. That's cool. That's
there you
good
go,
shit.
treasure hunting.
If you tell you what, you end up down in that area, Hillbilly Herb, you reach out to me because you're only about 4 hours away from me at that point. I'll absolutely come say hi to you. 100%. Yeah, no, it's an interesting story. So Slumac was get into this one a little bit. So he was a Native American going back to the 1800s. I want to say in around 1880, somewhere around 1890 maybe. And he was shot and killed someone that he'd had some sort of rivalry with. I can't recall the details, but back in the old days, shoots and kills this guy, and then they hang him. Now with that part is verified fact, right? Now the mystery part is the gold. The rumors was he would fuck off into the bush for every year and come back at some point in time later with a whole shit. Well, not necessarily shit ton, but a lot of gold, and he's throwing it around, and it's very obvious. And so, then it's rumored that he'd mentioned something about it, I think, just as they're about to hang him too, although I don't think that is actually confirmed. And so, but basically ever since in the Pitt Mountain area, Pitt Lake area, down the lower mainland of BC, you have treasure hunters and stuff like that are out there looking. Apparently it's pretty dangerous little mountain area too to be messing around in, and nobody has claimed to have found it yet, but people are always out there looking. So that's I'm really fascinated by the gold rush era of this, because there's not much history, recorded history, I should say, in BC. Our natives, they go back, God knows how far back they go, but a lot of that's undocumented, right? But we do know what's been happening up here since about the 1860s. And gold was found, and a lot of that was in the area that I live in, and you got all these old gold rush trails, and it's neat.
Yeah, man. Just think how many people traveled up that way. Well, not so much your way, but a lot closer than where I am, to that Klondike gold rush way back in the day.
And then so here's the other crazy shit. So you also, at the same time, when people start hearing about gold up in Barkerville, British Columbia, which is only 3 hours away from me, 2 hours north, and another back inward kind of east, there you'd have people coming from all over the world because we hear about gold. So you had these people called the overlanders that were coming from Ontario, basically walking it again all the way across from Canada. And there's a story of the headwaters of the Fraser River that I was just talking about, how it's nice and blue and clear up there. These guys, they walk in from Alberta across the Rocky Mountains, and they get in there and they start canoeing down, and there's people start dying. It gets into be winter and shit like that. And there's a tale of they split up the group of people. I can't remember if someone was hurt or sick or something like that. So you guys go for help, kind of, we'll stay here. And the guys that went for help, whatever happened to them, I can't remember. But they maybe went on and lived or whatever. One of the guy's brothers went, and the other brother stayed. And from those guys that stayed, some of them had died in whatever fashion, but got caught cannibalizing each other. And then the natives kind of stumbled across them and seized the Wendigos or whatever, and went back, got their freaking homies or whatever, and come back and killed the fucking Wendigos. Pretty badass shit. And then the brother that went down south, he heard the story of this happening later on, and could only assume that it was his brother, right? Dude, I can talk history, motherfuckers. Trust me, I'm
I got a buddy Ryan.
Like
He's really really smart when it comes to history, and he loves to talk about it. And me and him, he was one of my camping buddies from the factory I used to work at for a few years. And when we'd go camping, we'd get into mushrooms and a few beers and whatnot. I just hit him with questions like, "Tell me about like the wars from this or whatever." You know what I mean? And he'd be like, "Oh man, this happened," and he gets so into it and leaning forward and getting excited, and it's like, oh man, it's awesome. Because when you accentuate a story like that, right? You help someone keep interested that doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, amazing old lady there. She just dropped off a bag of Violator.
Oh, nice.
So this is Dalton's Pond, y'all. This is the mother of that cross.
Chill out, puppy.
And I can only imagine that when I hear people that have tried the Dalton's Pond and they talk about the funky smell, this is the smell pretty much that they're smelling, because this is the only time I've ever smelled anything that smells like this is the Violator or crosses that I've done with the Violator.
Stinky?
Yeah, but it's different. It's a different kind of smell. It's almost like juniper berries or something like that.
Cool. I got I can't say skunkish. It's not skunkish. It's good weed coming off the Banana Daddy and the Bama Lamb.
Like it.
The wedding cake it's not so loud as it grows. It's a more of a shower. You know what I mean? It shows up and just is nice and frosty at the end and tastes nice and good. The garlic, it's same thing. It kind of doesn't really stink while it's growing it, but it's got a real good mothballing funk on the bud. And Mendo breath, same thing, kind of like a little bit of meat terps on it, so it's not that loud. It's not like stinky weed smell. But there's one Bam and the one Banana Daddy I got. Stink. Stinking good though. With that Banana Daddy, man, I might have to pop more. Well, I don't know how they'll do indoors. Probably good, but I can depict what happens really. But outdoors, fuck, it took right off. Just a leftover solo cup. Now it's a 6-footer. Hasn't even started budding yet. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I tried to grow smaller plants again. I did all right with that task. There's a couple of them that are pretty small. But...
So if you were to try and stay smaller next year, would you maybe throw them out a little bit later in the year next year?
Yeah, or I'd start them a little later. I'd put them out at the same time, but I'd just make them smaller when I put them out. Give them a 3 or 4 week, less, I guess you'd say.
Now, are we talking like how big were these when they went in? Were they
like
full size?
2.5, 3 feet.
Oh yeah, so they're good. They're
they were plants.
Okay,
they're ready to be flipped pretty well inside.
If you would have flipped them, then they would be finished at the 6 feet tall they are now.
The one year I had them, they were inside grow tents, and they were like almost hitting the lights, right? Like they were full on plants, up to my chin at least, probably. And that was the year I got they were just too big.
I remember years ago, my pal of mine gave me he used to give me seeds all the time. Like it was back when I first started growing, and we were both started he'd been growing for years, but that doesn't matter. He would always buy seeds, right? It was basically just him and his old lady for the longest time, so he had nothing better to spend money on, I guess. I would always be seed hunting, and he'd always give me 1 or 2 every time he would buy a pack. And so I've got to run a lot of really cool shit because of him. And there's one, I think it was the Badass Kush, spelled AZZ.
Yep.
And I flipped that thing when it was about a foot tall, and it was well over 4 feet tall by the time it was done. I was just like, holy shit, and trying to grow in a small space. I ended up having to finish it off in our downstairs bathroom in the shower stall. It was fucking crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Not bad stuff. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't worth keeping around at that point in time. But to be fair, I didn't keep most stuff then. I was just kind of more that usually kind of just a one and done and see what we got. I can't roll. Oh my god. Yeah, I should have seen that joint, what it looked like when I was smoking when I first started the show. It was like, yeah.
Like it's a little bent, and I'm like, it's not bad. Then he twirled it, and it was like all warped. I'm like, okay, yeah.
You could use it as like the handle on a fishing rod. It was that great.
Good stuff.
So I'm excited for the van thing, man, and to start because now that I should be able to just kind of park that thing in my driveway and work on it whenever the hell I want. And there's no rush. It's or just leave it out at the in-laws because they just live like 6 minutes away. Like they're fucking right there. See, that's a good thing about my town is nothing's far away. Everything's real close. But park it there and it'd be a good excuse to go hang out with them. Like we don't spend enough time over there. We really should spend more time with them. They're awesome people. But that being said, when we were over there yesterday for supper, they were talking about so that Ashley's sister and her husband just had a baby about a month ago, a little more maybe, and they're kind of wanting to go over there and spend the winter in Alberta, helping and being around the baby and stuff like that. So
this is a good point he's saying.
I'm with you, Skunky. That's when you the stuff we got out at my dad's place. That's kind of the goal with some of it. Like, is just to like what can we do here? Because this is the first for both my dad, myself, and my dad to have this many well established plants outside, and we were able to. The goal of what we're doing this year is have them in a bunch of different points over across the yard to see which will get the most sun, which ones finish. Do any of them finish? But they're ones that we in the garden area that I developed earlier this year. Those ones definitely will get more sun than all the previous ones he's ever done, and he's never had one finish. That being said, I don't think he's ever put effort into having one actually put one in a greenhouse or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll build mini greenhouses.
Yeah, my yard's slowly becoming really non-conducive. It looks like, but then the plants are like, "Nah, bro, this is good." I'm like, "Okay, carry on." Shit.
As you were.
Yeah, I'm like, "Well, you don't mind all this shade like this? All right." Like they do get direct sunlight for a bit. You can tell because like their tops are always moving. You know what I mean? So they're working and sucking it up, but. Just the trees and I've cut all my trees down, but there's still a few. Not mine, can't say shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to change locations. But the problem is that the laneway beside my house probably going to become a road at some point in the near future. And also, right now it's public access and people can just walk down it or whatever. Look through my fence and see what shit. That's why I like having it on the far side of my yard. To walking in the laneway, you can't see, can't tell. But stick your head through the fence and still you wouldn't even go see it. It's super baked. That weed from Sniff
destroyed.
Yeah, it was putting me to sleep. That weed that Sniff brought over. Wrong. Good
Sniff
bedtime.
brought some goodies, did he? Some good stuff.
Yeah, he picked them up along the way somewhere.
That's one Bursa that I absolutely love and enjoy. And I
He's like the cool uncle,
yeah,
Skunkle Sniff. That's
yeah,
what
he yeah, no, it's as soon as he started kind of coming and hanging around, and it was just like, yeah, no, he's just like such a great guy. Just fucking, I think it was what he called it something along the lines of like age agnostic or something like that. Because like, we don't really care how old you are, right? If you're cool as shit, you're cool as shit. Just we're all gonna disagree at some point in time, but let's just agree to disagree sometimes and go either way, right? And he's just like, yeah, just a fucking rad dude. Let's do a dab for Sniff.
Yeah. Check it out. Important to stretch, folks. It is. It feels good too when you're done.
That was me trying to get the freaking wake up a bit and get the blood flowing when we freaking, like I was telling you how tired I was before we went live there. That actually, it's kind of funny because like it must have been like as soon as we hit go, it must have snapped me out of it or something because I don't recall feeling tired since we've been going on at it. Cheers, Archie. I see you.
Yeah, what's up, man?
And it's yeah, feeling good. I am loving this violator and happy to have this in my face again. This makes me happy. I should probably get a solid 4 hours of sleep tonight because of this.
Oh yeah. Then back to work in the morning.
Yeah. But here's the other cool thing. So I was supposed to be heading up to Prince George tonight and hanging up there and then working in Quesnel tomorrow and then, driving 2 hours to get home and all that. And then, but I found my foreman, which it didn't make sense to me to go all the way up there for one day. And then my general foreman, and he was like, no, I forget, because he thought my general foreman thought my foreman was coming back today. I was like, no, he's not. He's still in Edmonton. So I was like, oh, no, you just stay here. So I got to stay home for another night. Woo! That's what I'm saying. And dude, a whole week straight working and sleeping at home. Except for tomorrow night, we'll head down to the parents, but whatever. That's awesome. I'm stoked about this.
Oh yeah. That's a good thing.
First time since the very week of the year, for first week of the year. Sorry, there's another point to go along with all of this, but I'm high as shit and I can't remember what it was. So.
Yeah, that was me. Remember that sentence I tried about 20 minutes ago?
Yep.
That was fun. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but that one hit me hard. I also did a big dab right at the start too. Before we hit the button. But thanks everyone for joining us on Thursdays, man. It's fun.
No.
We'll wind down after my kids' soccer, get to hang with all my buddies.
I enjoy it. I thought that I forgot for most of the day that we've been starting later. And I was thinking that we were going to be going an hour earlier today. And we were talking about taking the family to see the Deadpool Wolverine movie tonight. And I was like, yeah, we could do that. We'll head out after. But I think we're going to end up doing that when we head up to Prince George for the weekend. Stop in and maybe take out, maybe see if my parents want to go. Maybe bring some nieces and nephews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Cheers, J5.
We never had cousins around there. It was a few hours away, right? So
that's kind of how it was for me too. The closest cousin I ever had was my cousin Robin, who was 3 hours away, living in Williams Lake when I was roughly high school.
Yeah.
So you got to see her fairly frequent. My other cousins practically don't know. My cousin Daniel, I got a text message from my mom a couple days ago saying that he was getting married and that Auntie Kim wanted people to know. And I'm like, well, At no point in time has he ever made an attempt to get a hold of me at all.
Yeah, no.
Made a few attempts, and I not haven't been very persistent over the years, but there have been attempts, and I gave up on that about 15 years ago. It's like I just, if he offer, hey, if an invitation shows up, yeah, I'll go. Hey, I'll go see him, support him. It's like I said, it's been a long time to see him. I don't have any necessarily ill will, but it's like, I don't like weddings, so if I can avoid one, I fucking bet I will. I'm gonna dip on that shit. And B, I don't like weddings. So if you being a distant cousin that I've had no relationship with since we were adults and even early when we were kids, and then I don't feel obligated to go. So while it might seem dickheadish, I am more than happy to dip on a wedding.
Yeah. They don't quite hold the same buzz as they used to.
Well, yeah, and that being said, so like, when if I ever get married again, there actually was talk about me and the old lady maybe going to Vegas and getting married for shits and giggles. It still may happen, it may not, we'll see. But if we get married, everybody is invited. You are all invited, but I fully understand if you don't want to fucking come because weddings suck. That's why I'm like, if I got to do that shit again, it's got to be awesome. I thought I did all right the first time. My ex-wife, she like when she walked down the aisle, she came out to "For Whom the Bell Tolls" by Metallica. Guess who got to pick the music?
Yeah.
When we had our first dance, it was "To the Road Behind" by Guar. And then the second song after that was "Wonderful Tonight" by Eric Clapton. And then I got the fuck out of there because the anxiety was like, holy shit. That was the worst anxiety I've ever had in my life. I don't know if I'd be able to do this podcasting stuff if the audience was live sitting in front of me, right? When you're doing it remote like this through computers, there's that disconnect and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But when I'm sitting there at the head table and you've got about 100 people, maybe a little less there, and they're all fucking looking at you. Like, holy shit. I was just like, heart started like, get me the hell out of here. And it was like, and then I hate dancing. I can do it now that I kind of smoke a lot of weed. You'll see me freaking shaking my hiney a little bit, I guess. Or if you got me drunk enough, I might kind of stagger around dancing. But you won't catch me on the dance floor busting moves. Like, I might do a little bit of toe tap and stand there, but that'll be about it. Cheers, Jay. I appreciate that, brother. If it does happen, like I said, everybody is invited, man. That's because it's, why not? Why not?
Yeah, Booth Camp North Caribou Wedding version.
I'd be down with something like that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily have to be Vegas. It's just got to be something like cheesy as shit. Like I think that's because like I don't know if we had ever actually talked about getting married before, really. And then there was talk about there's a concert festival that I want to go see in Vegas that they've done a couple of years in a row now. And you know me for any concerts, I'm kind of mental for them. And so I was like, and then as we're driving down the road and we're talking about it, and I would say to the old lady, well, fuck, since we're in Vegas, maybe we should elope and get married. And then without skipping a beat, it's like she already knew what I was going to say before I said it. She's like, can we do it at one of those Elvis chapels? We're going to get married by an Elvis. I was like, yes. Like it can't be any other way now.
Yeah, if you both thought about
that, the dude, like, do you know how awesome that would be to get married by a fucking Elvis impersonator? That's cheesy enough. And I feel like, we all get that security in relationships. We're like, oh, this is the one I want to be with for the rest of my life and stuff like that. But also, when you look back on past relationships, oftentimes you can see how they did not work out. Oftentimes that may have been part of our fault, or maybe it was a mutual fault, or whatever the reason it was. But right, and like, I could actually see this one actually lasting for the rest because it's just. Yeah, the comfort levels are there, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Let's talk about something different now.
How about them Jays? Uh, so I got those beans wet last night. What the fuck are they? Bahama Mama times chopped cherry from Adam, and then one was just a random seed that happened in my basement a long time ago. It was an autoflower that got hit with some pollen. Just had a lisp there for a sec. Got hit with some pollen from a photo period plant called early skunk. It was early skunk from Sensi Seeds. That pollen got onto sweet tooth autoflower. The sweet tooth, I forget who that came from. This is going back a few years. But the sweet tooth was really cool. It was one of those plants where it's I don't know, grew big buds, but it was like the calyxes were like very separate. So kind of like a little different looking, but really good nonetheless. So we'll see.
I noticed Jay's comment about everyone being in leather at a potential wedding. She also pointed out that when I got married, I was wearing my metal vest with all the patches and shit on it. I think it's downstairs. I was in that, and both my best men dudes, they were wearing vests with patches on them too. So, dude, I like people might doubt my devote. Like I am musicianly devoid. I cannot even sing or barely hum a tune, play anything like that. I got a bass line, kind of plunk along a little few riffs, but that's about it. Can't call me. But like my devotion to heavy metal music is second to not many, if any at all. I got to give myself that. I think my daughter's proof of that.
Yeah, she's got a bit of your blood, that's for sure.
I know there's a picture around. I was thinking about this a couple days ago. I might be able to find it on Facebook if I search back far enough. When she might have been less than 2 weeks old. Like I feel like it was at about the 10-day mark where she was doing the horns. Like obviously not intentionally. She was, like I said, like not even 2 weeks old yet, if I remember correctly. But it happened, and I got a picture of it, right? And now she's 10 years old. She's been to more shows than most adults I know. And I need to get it, find that, and I can put like Abigail 10 days old, Abigail 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Cool. Start them young, like they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's yet to be at a concert yet, but we're still planning on getting her to one before snow flies.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah,
I was thinking the Marley one's going to be a little smoky, maybe. But...
Dude, that'll be such a good show, though. It really will. Like I was going to a different Bob Marley ish thing while it was the Wailers, right? So you'd been hearing a lot of the same songs, and like the same thing though, right? Like to me, I don't necessarily, in my opinion, matter who's playing it. It's you're hearing those songs. And whoever they got to sing them other than Bob, I'm sure they're gonna sound really fucking close to him. And I just like, wow, I can get down with that, man. I hope you have an amazing time there. Like that's
September 27th. That one is.
Yeah, I think we're kind of chilling out September for chill out because there's a few that I want to see in October and November. We'll see. We shall see. And plus now I do actually have this van. That's we'll have that figured out. So I can start. That'll be a good way to start sinking money into projects, stuff like that. Because before long, I imagine the girlfriend, she's going to end up finding a job before too long, and once she's required to be at work at certain days, certain times, and stuff like that, then we completely lose the ability to just fuck off anytime we want to go to a show. Right? I can do it, but it doesn't feel good to leave her behind. I like to do the shit as the family because it's just feels better that way. So if she can't go, then it'll be like, okay, which is probably good. Really, it's the responsible thing to do for sure. But like,
He likes that. Good. Responsible.
we just become like the people that live in a van now. That'd be pretty sweet until the van breaks. It's like shit. I want the house back.
Oh shit.
Well, dude, what do you figure? Time to wrap her up?
Yeah, getting there. I'm fucking bushed, man.
I'm mentalized by the weed that I've been smoking. It's great. I freaking love to have Violator back for a bit. It's fucking nice. I wonder if I can get a clone. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find one in your area. It's always growing.
Sure, he could, but I've also like my main connection. She doesn't grow anymore. She was growing Violator for like over 27 years at the time she quit.
Oh.
So it's but it's obviously it's still around.
Yeah, the torch has been passed, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's you know what? Well, they grow the genetics that I've given them. Some of the stuff I've bred and some of the stuff that have just been beans I've given them. So maybe she would give a clone back this way. That'd be great. Fuck with that again. She knows I don't sell, so it's just going for medicinal use and possibly more breeding projects down the line. Should I ever get the urge to do it?
Yeah, more breeding projects. Bring it on.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we may as well start wrapping her up. Everyone live chat, thanks for hanging out with us. I hope I said hello to everybody. If I missed you, Mr. Greenfingers missed you there. Got you this time. It was a Midwest Outlaw. If I missed you, didn't mean to. My apologies. And maybe we'll get you on Saturday morning. Sunday morning. Saturday's a little early. Yeah, everybody until then, everyone have a great rest of your week. You got to go see that lobster? I'm so jealous.
Let's see.
See, now I got to think about that. Like it's been like almost a month since I've been to a show, and I've still got like a week to go, and I got to think about fucking lobster went to show and I didn't get to. I'll pout and be jealous.
Be very jealous.
Because it's like that, and that's the way it is. Anyway, we're out. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you Sunday morning. Cheers.